Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lightning News. My name is Thomas Carter, Rochester, a.k.a. Thor, son of Dale. That's David Thompson. I'm going to go through this really fast, and then I'm going to slow it down because, holy crap, I had to breathe. Wonder Woman 84 box office numbers. David, hit me with them stats real quick.
Yeah, so Warner Brothers, their latest film for HBO Max and theaters, Wonder Woman 84, which has been a critical flop, I guess now. It's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's hard to, before it'd be like, oh, hey, it was a critical success and then a domestic, like a box office what? Now all the numbers are weird, which stinks. But Wonder Woman 84 took an estimated $3 million, a 47% drop for a domestic total of $32.6 million. So Wonder Woman has grossed $131.4 million globally. That's the number we want to focus on. So Wonder Woman, it's been out for what? 2 weeks now? 3 weeks?
I have no unearthly idea what year we're even in.
2.5 weeks, because 2.5 weeks. It has grossed 131.4 globally. Now, that is a sad, pitiful number compared to what we were getting in 2019, but it's a different world. The most people watched on HBO Max. I know they had a significant spike on Christmas Day for Wonder Woman. It's hard to read these numbers now, but 130 and it's dropping like a rock, which makes sense because I think this could tie into the critical success of it, where it might not be a movie people are going to rewatch in the theater. And right now, I don't really see why they would. It's a long film. You have to go out to a theater, which is, Regal's still closed here. There's 3 Regals and they're all shut down. So
I can go see it in theaters. Holy crap, I forgot ours is open.
Go for it.
I gotta get my shit together and go watch Wonder Woman and cry alone in the theater like I do all the time.
Thomas, any thoughts on their box office success or lack thereof?
Under $100 million globally. I'm sorry.
Under 200.
Foreign. Sorry, yeah. No, foreign is what I wanted to. I said I wanted to. Yeah, internationally. Thank you. That's what it was. I don't know. Stupid reporter.
We got there.
Foreign tally. We got there now. Yeah, dude. Like that's the key. Like 30. What is it? 32 million here. Honestly, surprising. More than I thought they'd make in 3 weeks. I can't lie about it. So that's pretty cool. But globally, yowza. They really dicked themselves by doing the release the way they did. They should have had it come out in theaters for a week or two internationally.
Yeah.
And then release it on HBO Max because
it released a little earlier internationally.
It's going to be pirated. It did?
Yeah, it did. I remember because someone at the Direct had seen it, and they aren't in America, and it would have been like a week before. So I was like, oh, okay. So they did release it a little earlier. So it isn't 2.5 weeks total globally. It's been out for a little bit longer, probably nearly a month now in some places.
Okay, well, that was my thought. Moving on to Deadpool in the MCU. Did I not have? I totally didn't bring in. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go.
Stop. This is an entire long lightning segment. Each particle in the particle accelerator is going to last about 3 minutes. David, when the horn sounds, we can't yell it at the producers because the producers are us. I'm telling you because I know I'm going to yell at me later. And I do it all the time.
Okay. This
is titled Kevin Feige is the GOAT. Starting off, Deadpool in the MCU. Let's see if I can pull off a Kevin Feige. It will be R-rated, and we're working on a script right now. And Ryan's overseeing a script right now. It will not be filming this year. Ryan is a very busy, very successful actor. We've got a number of things we're already working. We've already announced that we now have to make. But it's exciting for it to have begun. Again, a very different type of character in the MCU, and Ryan is a force of nature, which is just awesome to see him bring that character to life. Yep. Feige. End quote. David, thoughts?
Super exciting. Deadpool is officially coming. This is the first word, it's the first real word from Feige on where they're at in production for this movie. It's going to be rated R. It's going to be in the MCU. How they're going to introduce him, we don't know yet. It's not going to be it makes sense that we haven't heard anything if it's not filming until 2022, It's not filming at all in A1. This is a distance, right? When did the second one come out?
2018.
18. So it's gonna
2
be
weeks. 2 weeks after Avengers. 3
it's
weeks
gonna
after.
be 4 or 5 years gap between the second and the third film.
Hey, you know what else is a 5-year gap?
Go.
The blip. Oh my God, it makes sense.
It does. It'll work.
So, okay, Fantoy, really quick. He's going to. I didn't hit the start on the timer button. I'm so sorry, everyone. I lied to you all. He goes through 5 years in his universe. Then it happens, and whatever year Doctor Strange is into, he pops in and says he showed up on this Earth in that year, and he's looking for everyone he loves, but everyone is totally different. He doesn't understand why everyone looks so stupid. Boom. Moving on, we have Feige is unsure about Black Widow release date. I mean, and I quote, confidence is meaningless in today's world because nobody knows anything. Hope springs eternal. A year delay, you would hope would be enough. There's a vaccine out there now. We'll see. I certainly hope so. I want to be back in the theater with people. He goes on to say, at another point in time, we've had that before. Endgame and Far From Home were the same time. We have the pleasure and the privilege of working with the greatest marketing department in the history of Hollywood. So restarting that campaign, any of those campaigns, I have great confidence in. What I don't have confidence in is the timing because we're dealing with this whole pandemic thing. I added things. I just needed to be known.
That's fine. So with this, they're actually okay. I am disoriented. There we go. That's actually so funny. I literally felt off. Who wrote a Variety report? I think just came out just an hour ago or so. People are reporting on it now. Where along with this quote, they're saying there's whispers that we could get a day and date Disney Plus premiere access for Black Widow. It's not confirmed at all. It's just whispers, and it just goes along with this, right? But okay, I was actually going to say that. I would
100% effing buy that. I don't even care. I don't care if I have rent to pay.
Yeah, I'd figure out how to see it that first day anyway. But I was going to say, if they, based off just the Feige quote, if they can't, if by May 7th, it's ooh, this is dicey. Do we put it out? You got to just go day and date with Disney Plus, in my opinion, because we can't delay more. Please. The MCU isn't one of these things any of these Fast and Furious coming up and James Bond, where you can just push it eternally because it's not connected to anything. The MCU is this whole domino effect, and we have all these dates now. We just got so many more for the investors meeting. It's all connected. In my opinion, they need to just go day and date if they don't feel comfortable just doing theatrical. I'm hoping just for theatrical, just to kind of see how that experiment goes, and I'll force people to go to the theater. Not trying to say I want to force people to go to the theater, but I want the theater experience, I guess. I hope it's safe enough then that we can do that. I hope things are really looking up by then, and it'll be fingers crossed. Thomas, what were your thoughts? Black Widow questionable for May 7th. We'll see what happens.
Thanks for leaving me 15 seconds.
You're welcome.
I'm excited. I'm honestly, yeah, you know me. I'm excited. I need more. Give it to me. Give me my Marvel drugs. Give it to me, Disney. Give it to me.
Yep.
And we're just gonna let the last 2 seconds run out because I'm lazy. Love it. Absolutely love it. Moving on. This damn well better be fast. She-Hulk, Loki, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier lengths reveal. Kevin Feige, being the goat that he is, said, but She-Hulk, for example, he's discussing about how things will be, each show will be unique in terms of time, tone, etc. She-Hulk, for instance, is being developed as 10 30-minute episodes. Some will be longer and some will be shorter. Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is being developed as 6 40 to 50-minute episodes, which I called
it. I'm excited for this, right? I think I wrote an article, check it out on the direct. It was about how Feige also mentioned, it wasn't that important, so I didn't go notes because there was a lot of Feige stuff that came out where he mentioned, WandaVision is an experiment for a sitcom Disney Plus show. we're in the experimental stage when it comes to these new projects on Disney Plus, She-Hulk would be an obvious choice that could be a future sitcom-like project. And this is more of a confirmation, not a confirmation, but add to that speculation. It's going to be 30 minutes. And I think it works really, really well for what they're going for, where it's going to be a law comedy for She-Hulk. And then exactly what I want. Loki, Falcon Winter Soldier, longer episodes. It'll probably feel a bit more like Mandalorian style, which is what I think would really work for those kinds of shows. And I think even like Hawkeye, I think I want to be like that sort of style. So very excited. I'm glad they are getting creative with how they're going to do these, lengths. And the beauty of Disney Plus, it's a vast open field of opportunity and new ideas, right? They can do whatever they want. I mean, they could at some point do like 2 episodes, do a movie. Like, it doesn't always have to be like network TV box or the theatrical movie box. Disney Plus can do whatever they want, and I hope they can get more crazy with it. Next story.
Moving on. Feige. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I skipped one. Charles Murphy on Twitter had an interview during this presser, and he said that he just asked Kevin Feige if he would clarify where Phase 4 would end. His response, a prompt no. But Feige, being the goat that he is, allowed him to have a backup question, which is nice.
I will say, okay, you want to throw out what you think?
No, I was going to move on.
I was just going to say really quick, I think just a little glimpse into that, I think there may not be plans for Phase 5, Phase 6. Not in the sense that it's ending, but in the sense that phases are over. I think the phases thing might have just been for, the Infinity Saga. Because especially the way they're laying this out, we're getting like 10 projects this year. There's no Avengers. There's no Avengers, film plan, which is normally like cap off a phase. I think Phase 4 could kind of morph into just keep moving on. Maybe we get back to phases at some point when there's more of an established like group, but we're in an in-between stage of the MCU right now after and everything. And I don't see where they really even need to do the phases anymore. It's exciting to say, it's exciting to speculate about, but I think they may not even go that route anymore after this.
I think they will, but it won't be in the same way. So we didn't know anything about phases until Avengers happened. And so then it was like, okay, well, we'll make this our little graphic novel. We'll make this a little graphic novel, make this a big graphic novel. But if you watch what happens in Phase 3, it branches. You have space and Earth.
True.
That makes it hard to stay linear in that phase, which is why I go more often than not Earth stuff than space stuff. Because, if you skip Guardians and put it just in the space and you put them in chronological order, then you go Guardians 1, Guardians 2, Doctor Strange, et cetera, through to Thor. And Thor goes right into Infinity War. If you watch Ant-Man, and Ant-Man and the Wasp is the hardest movie to watch for me in terms of chronological order, because you got to get to a specific effing point. And you can watch it leading up on Earth and then watch the end credit scene at the end. Basically, after you've watched Infinity War and it leads in. So I think what's going to happen is instead of having phases, like it'll be Phase 4 of the MCU, and Phase 4 is a massive sandbox with multiple I don't want to say timelines, but multiple storylines that are going to, maybe these interweave over here, the spacey stuff. Oh, the multiverse stuff. Oh, the narrowed down the track grounded stuff. I think that's what's going to be. It's going to be levels, arcs, location even.
I like that. I agree with that. My thing with phases and how they might go away from that whole idea, just kind of the name and the fun of it is, like you were just saying, it's all these different stories and all these different levels of space and Earth and cosmic, whatever you want to say, like whatever Eternal is going to be.
Bro.
Time, exactly. Loki, Doctor Strange, realities. So
Eternals?
Exactly. The thing is, I think, oh my gosh, I forgot my point. I was sitting on it. I was so ready. The thing is, oh my gosh, hold on. It's lightning news. My brain just flickered out.
Phases going. Bye.
Phases going.
Levels. Storylines, time. It's so complex.
I remember now. The thing that defined a MCU phase in the first 3 phases was the culmination of an Avengers film. I don't think we're getting that for a while. And there's going to be a whole phase of films, maybe even 2 phases of films, I think, before we get an Avengers film. And I think that's a smart move because you don't want to water it down like with Avengers 5. We got 2 Avengers films, which are basically one combined in back-to-back years. I think they're really building, they're going to try to really, really build the anticipation for another Avengers film. And the amount of different characters we're having on whole different levels of Disney Plus and stuff, everything may not, not everyone's probably going to be in an Avengers film. So I don't think we should really look at it that way anymore. It's basically my point. And I think they're not looking at it that way either. Next.
I agree. Feige discusses Spider-Man 3 rumors. Right. David, is this going to be fast? I think so. I've read some things. I'm not sure I've read all things. The fun thing about online speculation when it comes to our stuff is how sometimes it couldn't be more off the mark. And sometimes it's shockingly close. I don't know why that word was so hard to say. It's shockingly close. There it is. That's held true for the last few years. But saying which is which, take all the fun out of everything. I agree, David.
I agree as well. I like hearing that some is true and some is false. Feige has lied to us in the past, so we'll see. I'm glad he talked about it, right? It's exciting that he's read the stuff. Yeah. He's aware of it. Yeah, pretty cool. Can't wait to hear more. I think they're going to stay hush-hush. Speaking of that really great marketing team they mentioned earlier, I think the marketing for this movie is going to they're going to have to be careful with it. Because this is the most anticipated movie of my year, and for a lot of other people, for the MCU, because it's Spider-Man.
Oh my God, that's this year, isn't it?
End of this year, yeah.
Fuck.
11 months away.
That's the perfect.
It's exciting, man. They're filming it right now.
Well,
we'll see what happens.
Moving on. Yes. Yeah, I mean, we're trying to move on here. We have a lot to discuss. Feige discusses Black Panther 2. So much of the comics in that first movie is the world of Wakanda. Wakanda is a place to further explore with characters and different subcultures. This was always and initially the primary focus of the next story. We're not going to have a CG Chadwick, and we're not recasting T'Challa. Ryan Coogler is working very hard right now on the script with all the respect and love and genius that he has, which gives us great solace. So it was always about furthering the mythology and the inspiration of Wakanda. There's also the task of honoring and respecting the ongoing learnings and teachings from Chad as well. I got nothing. I think that quote stands on its own.
I love it. I am excited for this movie. Despite everything, I think they're handling this beautifully. That is all.
Marvel calling Spider-Man 3 Homecoming 3 in connection to Doctor Strange. This is also coming from Feige.
Oh, they're all coming Feige today.
The biggest clue is the title of the second Doctor Strange movie. That's the biggest clue of where the multiverse of madness is taking us and how we're exploring that. It's surreal to me that we're talking about a Spider-Man 3. I worked on a movie called Spider-Man 3 many years ago, directed by Mr. Sam Raimi. So this clearly, the shorthand of calling it Spider-Man 3 now, it's fine. We call it Homecoming 3. It's not Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, so it's funny. They don't call it Spider-Man 3 just because there already was a Spider-Man. And I agree with that. Because I don't like how it's really called Spider-Man 3 because there was a Spider-Man 3 and that's an actual movie. And this movie is not Spider-Man 3. Why release the title and something so we can just stop calling it Spider-Man 3? Spider-Man Homebound. Spider-Man.
It's Homecoming 3, bro.
Spider-Man Homecoming 3.
Oh my God. What if it is Homecoming 3?
There's no way.
3 Spider-Men.
Well, I mean, that's why people like it calling it Spider-Man 3, I think, because they like Spider-Man 3.
But even better, screw that, Homecoming 3.
They're not going to throw a number in there now. Also, I think that one latest about the cameos is that they will be cameos. I kind of ruined what I was saying. Is that I think here's my idea when we talked earlier about the Spider-Man 3 rumors, what like bulb lit up in my head, where he's like, some are true, some are not. What I would love to see with all of this, and stay with me, people, this is our last topic before Trilogy of Trilogies.
70 seconds.
Beautiful. I think this movie, Spider-Man 3, should not be if they're going down the path of bringing back Maguire, bringing back Garfield, bringing back all these characters, this should not be that culminating movie if they really want to do it right. If it's just cameos, I'll cry, I'll love it, I'll go home happy, and that'll be it. I hope this movie, they bring Electro back and they bring Doc Ock back and maybe some other characters. I kind of hope we don't see Garfield and Maguire, and it's setting them up for like a Spider-Man movie, a Spider-Verse live action film. I don't want this movie to be it because we know Doctor Strange is coming, and I think there's going to be more multiverse stuff even after that film, even if he like puts it back together, quote unquote. I don't want this film to be that culmination. I still want it to be wrapping up the Homecoming 3 trilogy with Tom Holland and Ned and MJ and all that stuff. And I'm hoping we get the villains and we maybe get the cameos from Maguire and Holland or Garfield. But I hope that this is leading to a bigger film. 71 seconds. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. That concludes What the News.